I'm ready to go upstairs. I get called my name, Amari. And I'm like, oh, Lord. And I'm like, yes, mother. And she's like, Amari, come here. I'm like, gosh. So you already know how that be. You're like, oh goodness, what now? So before I could actually fully turn around and come to her in the kitchen, like in the area where she couldn't see me, I turn around, she's coming around walking to my face. And y'all wouldn't even be able to believe it. I can, because I know it's my mom, but she turns around in my face and says, Amaria, blood clot faggot. Hey, what's going on YouTube? So, yeah. So today, as y'all can see by the title, we are going to go ahead and talk about my, I wouldn't call it like very traumatic, but yeah, my coming out story. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So if some of you guys come from the Baddie Army, you guys already seen this video where I went ahead and did a collab with them, and I talked about briefly a little bit about my coming out experience. And I will have to go ahead and say that honestly, really, truly, what y'all heard was true. And you know, just to kind of like break it down and give y'all an overall synopsis as to why this was a little bit of a traumatic experience. So let's take it way back. Let's take it back. So let's take it back to when I was 11 years old. Okay.
Picture it. Sicily, 1912.
And I just moved to America. Okay, so set the scene. I was living in Rochester, New York at the time. You know, I came to the States and visited many times. So I was very aware of my surroundings, where I was, all of that. But this was the first time I was going to school. And I will have to say that my school experience kind of dictated my full experience moving into me being able to basically say I can come out. Let's just say that school for me was a little bit of a challenge. I was bullied. I was made fun of because I spoke very proper. I had a lot of respect. I had manners, you know, and you guys are probably thinking like, why would people want to make fun of you? Believe it or not, in inner city kids, that's not a thing. It's not. You know, I wasn't necessarily bullied because of the fact that I was gay. I was just kind of bullied a little bit because of the fact that I was quiet and I didn't really mess with anybody. So I was kind of like an easy target. So like my 7th, 8th grade, going into like my 9th grade year. 9th grade is when I started to speak up for myself a little bit. Just a little bit. And I started to get friends and stuff like that. And, you know, all of things of that nature. Majority of them were girls. I did have a couple guy friends, and some of them are still my friends today, and they're straight. Yeah. You know, it's just, which is pretty like the epiphany of like, oh yeah, of course they're, you know, gay or whatever, they were friends. But no, definitely for sure, I will have to say that school and everything, you know, kind of, it was a challenge, but it wasn't as much of a challenge as at home. So this is when this whole story it starts to take a huge turn. So I don't want to make this too sad, and I promise I'm not going to cry, but I will have to say this. Me and my mother have not ever had like a full-blown relationship. We have always struggled with this. When I came to America, I have a little brother. I felt like, you know, the attention was drawn a little bit towards more him. He was younger, which is understandable, all of that. But then again, I really always felt like I was just always singled out as just being different. And I knew I was different. I knew I was different from a long time. I knew I was different. I knew that you know, something about me was different at the time. No, when I was like an early teen, whatever, I wasn't caring about what I liked and stuff like that. I was really honestly focused on school, and I wanted to do very, very well. And I wanted to come out of high school and go to college and get a good job and all of that fun stuff. But look where I am today. I have 2 college degrees, and I don't even have a degree that, I mean, I don't even have a job that's with my profession. But anyways, as I digress. You know, so when I did officially, you know, come to an understanding that, okay, I'm different, you know, it is okay to be different, and I accepted myself, that is when everything started to make a turn for the worse. You know, I always felt that, you know, because I've dated girls, you know, I've dated, you know, girls, I've had relations with girls, you know, stuff like that. That doesn't change anything. I'm a very firm believer is you are born the way you are. You know what I mean? Someone is not going to tell me, oh, it's a choice and all this kind of stuff. It's not a choice. And this is like the debate topic that I always get into with people. It's like, well, it's a choice. God didn't make you that way. It's like, no, he did. He did. And I'm you know, I'm a very firm believer in faith. And, you know, I love my Lord, and, you know, we're going to leave it at that. But as far as, you know, man. All right, so let's get this out of the way and go ahead and talk about my mom, you know. So at the time around 16 going on 17, I got my first job. I'm going into my senior year of high school. You know, all of those wonderful things are happening between actually 17 and 18. So what I actually ended up doing was I got a job, and I literally, and I shouldn't say this, but I literally tried to come up with every which way to not be home, because all I did was stay at home and watch my little brother. My mom was very, very much so a firm believer in, you know, I have a child, you're going to watch them basically because you're the older sibling. And I hated that. I absolutely hated that, because I really, really want to say that I didn't start living and enjoying my life until I moved to Florida. Like, I didn't really start living and enjoying my life until I moved to Florida and I had freedom, and I was, you know, the age of 18 and had my own vehicle and stuff like that. And I had finally my own freedom. It literally took me that long. My mom was so strict. She did not let me go out and hang out with friends, stuff like that. Like how kids these days, they get to go hang out with friends, stuff like that. Not happening over here. My mom was not with any of that. I can count on one hand how many friends I ever had come to my house, and I was so worried and petrified to have any of my friends come into the house because my mom was so judgmental, and I was always afraid of what she would say out of her mouth. Even though she would come off to be like the sweetest person ever, but you just never knew what was coming or what she was thinking about that day. So anyways, I started working and everything, and at that time I, you know, was approached by individuals asking me to go on dates and stuff like that. And at the time I was 17, and this particular guy, which ended up being my first relationship with a guy, my first partner, we ended up, you know, hitting it off fairly quickly. He would come and get me from work. At the time I was still taking the bus. You know, he would bus me from my job, you know, to downtown, and we would split sometimes, or he would just come back to my mom's house with me. And he would come pretty often, and what I would do, and I started to get lazy. So what I used to do is when we get to the house and I know my mom was home, especially that late, you know, I used to work anywhere between from 2 to 10 or 3 to 10 or 3 to 11 or whatever. It just all depended on what my shift was that day. So if I was off that day, then obviously if I was just going to school, I would get home before she would, because she would get off like around 5, 6. And then during the week, late in the evening, so vice versa. So what I would do is, if I know that she was home, I would go in the house and see where she was, and then I would go ahead and have him either come through the side door or whatever. Like, he figured it out. We had a side door and we had a front door, but it was pretty much on the same side of the house. So either way, you know, it was kind of coming through the same spot because the stairs were in the foyer. So I just got lazy after a while, and what did I end up doing? Yeah, so like one particular day, my mom was sitting on the couch, and I was like, yeah, she's not moving anytime soon. So I was just like, Mom, I have a friend of mine, blah blah blah, whatever. And she was like, yeah, just don't have them, we don't want nobody to stay the night at my house. My mom's Jamaican, and that's where I'm from, is Jamaica. And so you guys already know that Jamaica is a very homophobic country. And so are the people, for whatever reason, I don't know why, and there's gay people there too. But anyways, so make a long story short, one day, this is like, I want to say maybe a couple months later. So a couple months go by, me and this individual, we're dating and everything now, like we're actually together. And my mom doesn't know anything. Right? She doesn't know anything. Nobody really knows anything. I wasn't really saying anything to anybody, unless like you were like really, really close to me, which was like maybe 2 or 3 people at that time in school. You didn't know what was going on. So essentially, one evening I walked downstairs, and my mom and her friend were in the kitchen. At the time, I walked him down the stairs, walked him through the porch, because we had a porch, gave him a hug, the door was closed so nobody could see us, and he left. So I come back inside, I'm ready to go upstairs, I get called my name, Amari. And I'm like, oh Lord. And I'm like, yes, mother. And she's like, Amari, come here. I'm like, so you already know how that be. You're like, oh goodness, what now? So before I could actually fully turn around and come to her in the kitchen, like in the area where she couldn't see me, I turn around, she's coming around walking to my face. And y'all wouldn't even be able to believe it. I can, because I know it's my mom, but she turns around in my face and says, Omar, you're blood clot faggot. You're faggot. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and I was so taken back by this comment. But I knew she had been drinking. I can see it in her face. I see the cup in her hands. And I'm like, you know what? She is not in the right state of mind right now. She's, whatever, on her liquor, And then her friend comes around and like, no, now is not the time for that, blah, 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 this, that, whatever. Talk to him when you're not, whatever. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. She's like, I want a blood clot answer. I want to answer. And I just said no. Now, mind you, I'm lying to myself at this point, even though I've already accepted for the simple fact of that I am gay, Yes, I said it, I am gay, and I'm very, very proud of it. I love being me. And, it kind of just set, like, the tone and the warpath from then. So, literally 3 nights later go by, okay? And I told my best friend about this. Hey, love, if you're watching this video, my best friend Ashley, she came in totally clutch around this time. So I went ahead and told her the whole situation and everything that happened. So that same night when I went home, okay, I didn't work that day. I went home, and I was at home, and she came home and stuff like that. Time had went by, she had cooked and everything, and right after she was done cooking, I went downstairs, I got some food, and I went and finished my homework, came back downstairs, brought my plate and everything downstairs, and I'll never forget it. I'm about ready to start fixing some food for lunch tomorrow. And she goes, I still didn't get an answer to my question the other day. I want an answer, and I want a truthful one. And her friend is there again. Her friend literally lived down the street, which was also, her daughter was my close friend. I called like a sister to me. So we were all pretty much like a little family in, between the houses, whatever. So she goes, so they're both looking at me, basically. Like, they're both like, I'm looking for her friend to kind of defend me, but her friend's like, you kind of got to answer this on your own now. So I'm sitting there, and 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 I'm just like, she's like, I want an answer. So she goes and grabs my shirt like this, literally, and pulls me closer to her. And I was like, why is this necessary? So she turns and she's talking to her friend, And it kind of like went by. It wasn't that long, but I had to say it probably was like more than a minute. And I went ahead and I kind of like released her. Like I was like, you know, not forcefully, not anything like that. And she's like, Omari, you put your blood clot hand palm me. You put your hand palm me. And I was like, are you serious? Literally 5 more back to back after that. And by the time when she got to the 7th one, I grabbed her. Like, I had to grab her hand. Because I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, I am tired of the abuse. I'm tired of you mistreating me. I was done. I was over it, y'all. Like, I was done. Like, I was done. Like, I was completely over it. I was tired of my mom physically, mentally, and verbally abusing me. Okay, I was just over it. So, what happened next, y'all? I am not proud to say it. Even to this day, this was how many years ago, and I'm still not proud to say it. I picked my hand up and I gave it right back to her. I gave her one good one, right across her face. I just went right across her face. And, you know, I am a firm believer, you don't put your hands on any woman at all. But I feel as if sometimes if you willing to go ahead and go amount of lengths to keep hitting somebody, you should expect it back to you, obviously. So her friend's hysterical. Omar, you really put your hands on your mom and this, that, whatever. And, you know, like this, and this is the thing that irritates me. And I love my culture. I do absolutely love my culture. I love Jamaican culture. I do. Love Caribbean culture overall. But this whole stigma that the parents can be as toxic as they want to be and mistreat their children and provoke their children to raw bothers me. It bothers me. And unto this day, I still don't agree with it. I don't care that you think that you're older or whatever. Respect is a two-way street, okay? If you disrespect me, I might say something back to you and I might walk away from you. Well, I will walk away from you rather, not might. I will walk away from you and we probably will never speak again. Because I just don't have time for that amount of negativity and energy in my space. I don't need any of that, okay? And that's why I came to terms, right? After this whole situation. You know, after that, of course, it goes around the family. And I was approached another time when I went to Jamaica for my grandmother's 17th birthday by my 2 uncles and a individual that my aunt was dating and everything at the time at the beach, where they tried to corner me and ask me if I was gay and this, that, whatever. And I'm just like, it's none of y'all business. And I told them, I said, frankly, it's none of you guys' business about my sexuality and what is going on in my life. And they didn't like that. And I'm like, I don't care at this point. I'm a grown adult. I know who I am and I love me. I honestly love me, okay? And what I mean to tell you, if you're watching this video and you're trying to figure out a way to come out and you just don't know what to do, please do not ask me for advice. However, I will give you this little bit of advice. If you know who you are, you truly love yourself, right? You truly love yourself, you know who you are, and you're going to be happy, and you know that you can be safe, and you know that you're going to be fine after you tell your family this, and you know that it may be traumatic or not, have a plan. Have a plan, know that you're going to be fine, but just know within yourself that you will love yourself 10 times more because you're honest with you and you're being your true self. Just know that. When you're being your true self, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. Okay? Absolutely no one can take it from you. I'm telling you that. Be you. Love you always. You know what I mean? I just never knew in my life that I would end up meeting some of the most extraordinary people ever. Ever. And it doesn't matter what their sexuality is, to me. To me personally, I don't care. To me, it's another version of racism. That's literally all it is, and I just don't get it. But anyways, guys, you know, today in life, me and my mother, we don't have a relationship. It's been a rocky up and down forever, and I've honestly have given up on it. I really have. It's just been too much. It's too much on me too much energy to put into it. I'm tired of putting time and effort into something that is just not going anywhere. You know what I mean? As far as for my family, most of my family, I really just kind of deal with my cousins and stuff like that, and like more of extended family versus my intermediate family. Like my actual intermediate family, I really don't deal with them. I really don't. It's sad. I really don't deal with them. They claim that they don't have a problem with my sexuality, but they treat me so different. They treat me so different, and it's disgusting. It really, really is. I treat them all the same. You know, I'm very respectful and loving, still the same. But as far as most of the time, I kind of keep to myself. But anyways, on a brighter note, I will have to say I have amazing friends. I have amazing friends. As we say in Jamaica, total stranger. Yes, strangers. Yes. Give me the most love and show me the most love and have been showing me the most love for the past 7 years since I've lived here in the state of Florida. Since I moved away from where I was living. And I just have to say I'm very grateful for it. I really, really am. I absolutely am. And if you guys want to know my actual opinion on how I feel about gay dating apps or dating apps overall and my experience with them, go and check out this video. This video was really, really clutch. Go ahead and check it out. You're absolutely gonna love it. And like I said before, be you, always be you, and love you. No matter what you love, even if you love trees. And I mean all types. Alright guys, definitely go ahead and support your boy below. Go ahead and get those fingers moving in the comments. I'm definitely curious to hear about a coming out story that you may have. My Instagram is here below if you want to shoot me a DM and talk about it as well privately. I'm definitely willing to go ahead and hear you out. I'm a human being, so are you. And also, like I said before, be you. And like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go and support your boy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.